gears now as the world awaits Iran's next move in the Middle East. The Biden-Harris administration continues with its appeasement campaign, most recently waiving mandatory sanctions on Iran's vitriolic state-controlled broadcasting company. That organization every day spews out anti-Semitic lies against Israel and threatening language towards us here in America. So what will we hear about our foreign policy, if anything, at this week's convention? Joining me now is New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney and Florida Congressman Mike Waltz. Good to see you both. Congressman Waltz, first to you. What do you make of the continued appeasement of Iran by the Biden-Harris administration?
Well, part of it just goes to their fundamentally wrong approach to foreign policy. Look, Biden, Harris, the people around them like Jake Sullivan and Tony Blinken, they were the kids on the schoolyard when facing down the bully that just kept asking, can I give you a little bit more lunch money? Can I give you another appeasement? Can I find another concession to give? And you'll leave us alone. President Trump knew, rightly, sometimes you have to escalate to de-escalate, punch the bully in the mouth, take out Soleimani, take out Baghdadi, and send a message. But what you've seen time and time again, and what you're going to hear this week, is a throwaway line, of course, we support Israel's right to defend itself, and then a long litany of demonizing Netanyahu, talking about humanitarian aid in Gaza, and a focus on their progressive left that will be protesting to the hundreds of thousands right outside, rather than dealing with the core issue, which is Iran.
Absolutely.
As long as Iran is flush with cash, they are going. Terrorism is going to be on steroids in the Middle East. But that's what you're going to hear this week, and it is so incredibly dangerous.
By the way, if it wasn't for Israel, which daily is getting berated by the Biden administration, Iran would be much more dangerous than it is. That's why they're afraid, I think, to attack to attack Israel itself. Claudia, I gotta deal with something that sticks in my craw, and I know as a Marine mom, it sticks in your craw as well. That is the continued frustration and anger on the part of veterans and people who are still in the military about the Afghan withdrawal, something that Kamala Harris actually took credit for. I want to play that tape and get your reaction. Roll it.
President Biden always said that he wants you to be the last person in the room, particularly for big decisions, just as he was for President Obama. He just made a really big decision, Afghanistan.
Yes.
Were you the last person in the room?
Yes.
And you feel comfortable?
I do.
She's actually taking bragging rights for something that led to the murder of 13 service people in Afghanistan. That has led to a whole series. And they just recently had that parade last week, the Taliban did, showing off what they took from the Bagram Air Base, which they never should have gotten their hands on. What are your feelings? This is something that I think still resonates among Americans, how badly that was handled, don't you?
Yeah, this was actually a bellwether type of situation. I mean, we look at what happened in Afghanistan, and you saw right from there our enemies, China, Russia, Iran, as Congressman Waltz just referenced, were felt emboldened by this. Like, oh, look, we're going to get appeasement, and we're going to be able to overrun this place. And of course, now she's, I don't know when that clip was, but everything that Kamala Harris said she was had nothing to do with Joe Biden. Now she's all of a sudden got to own it, and she's trying to go back to, oh, wait a minute, I wasn't, part of the Joe Biden policy. So the duplicitousness of her situation is really what's interesting. But as a mother of a Marine, and we know that 11 of those soldiers needlessly killed on that fateful day, were killed, and it is unacceptable. And I hear from service members everywhere, and we did a special vigil for them as well. But I hear from people, even at the convention, some of the families at the Republican convention were there, wanting some kind of action, wanting some projection of strength, wanting clarity, as Michael Waltz talked about, wanting to know why we pulled out of Afghanistan in the way we did. And remember something important about this whole move out of Afghanistan when it first happened. It was done by a political calculus. They thought they would do it on 9/11 to celebrate that anniversary. How sick to think that that would be a good thing to do. So they rolled the date back, weren't prepared, and now we ended up with this horrible catastrophe, which has led to a series of foreign policy mishaps that have put the United States and our allies in danger.
Mike Waltz, as a very proud veteran, I know you want to weigh in on this. Unfortunately, we've totally run out of time, but I think you'd agree with me, Mike, that there's no braver a person in the world than the mother of a serviceman. The stuff that they have to go through, I'm speaking for my wife at this point, is tremendous.
That's
as well
right.
as what you go through.
Semper Fi.
Semper Fi
Semper
to you
Fi
too, Mike.
to all the Marine moms out there. All right.
Thank you very much, both of you. I appreciate you coming.